hard, still figuring out since I discovered the car's lights.
Yeah, and the, I looked right at it. That was stupid.
That's the most difficult thing, because, right before I hit record, I'm setting this up, and then I got the spots on my eyes now.
Like,
And
damn it, I looked right at it, yeah. I looked at the trap ray.
Like, how did Rob and I do this last week when we saw Predator?
Yeah, so it's a little closer to me, so I am normally so white you can see through me, but tonight it is also, the light's a lot closer to me.
You're the good witch.
Yeah, I'm the good witch.
They did have a popcorn bucket at this one. It was at this one I realized, wait, I don't have to buy this to take a picture of myself with. Oh, and that Tron one was still $75, by the way.
Yeah, again, they gotta make some money with it somehow.
Yeah. So
They can't just rely on the album being sold.
Yeah. Did you like Wicked Part 1?
I did.
You did? Okay. Yeah, I think I gave it a B, which is pretty good considering I was in pain watching that. I don't mean the movie. I mean, literally. I don't remember if I mentioned that when I reviewed it a year or two ago, whenever that came out, but I had a glute strain.
Oh, was that when that was going on? Oh,
it
man.
was. I had a bad glute strain because I jumped over Jack. And so that was sitting there, and it was uncomfortable seats already, like when I went to go see that. And so I was already in a lot of pain sitting down. Then there was a problem with the projector, so the movie started like an hour late. And that was already like a 3-hour movie, or close to 3 hours. Then adding an hour on top of that, and trailers. Mm-hmm. Oh man, I'm like, me coming out of that and giving it a B, I might as well have given it an A+. Yeah. So, this one, I didn't have that problem. So from that regard, it's sort of like, well, I kind of like this better because I can sit during it. And it's a little shorter. But there's other things about this movie. It's kind of a mess.
You know, that's so funny because you haven't seen the show, correct?
No, but I think I know where you're going.
I think, because I was even looking at the critical score of it, I think people who have seen the show are going to like it fine. Those who haven't are going to have some major issues with it. Not necessarily dislike it, but I'm glad I'm talking to someone who has not seen the show. Because I'm watching it and I'm thinking, well, I'm liking this, but I know where it's going. I know why that person gave that look. I know why this is happening this way. If somebody doesn't know the show, would there be times where you'd be going, yeah, let's wrap this up, or, well, that was kind of a weird thing to do, or, oh, that's supposed to be a big surprise, or maybe some parts would be a big surprise, some things would be rushed. Yeah. So it's one of those things where, because I was aware where it was going, and I still had some issues with it, but I liked it about the same as I liked the first one. There's moments in this where, when I saw the first one, the only scene I probably revisit is the end song, the Defying Gravity. I would probably go back, but nothing else, even though it was very impressive, nothing else I would go back to. This one, there's a couple scenes I would go back to watch again.
Actually, I agree.
And not just for the musical numbers, but for some of the dramatic moments and the way they're done.
Yeah.
But, yeah, there are... Where in the first one, I remember it flowing really well. It's only one part where I got bored, where I think she was singing about Fierro, the I'm not that girl, I'm not the one who'll fall in love with. And I was like, they could just cut this song, but I know the fan base would go insane. So, okay, you gotta just get through it. Where with this one, there were several moments like that. It even early on, where I'm like, I'm already feeling a little bored. Yeah. That's concerning me. But then as it kept going, things kept turning on and kind of getting more interesting. To a point where when Dorothy arrives in the story, I'm like, oh, we're here already? Like, I was kind of surprised by that. Yeah. But again, I know what's going to happen. I know how long I have to wait through certain moments. So it didn't bother me. But there, like I said, there are times where I'm like, I wonder how a person who just knows nothing about the story would react to this film.
When I say that I thought it was kind of a mess, emphasis on kinda, because there is a lot of stuff I liked in this. I mean, a lot. There's even some things that there's even some kind of minor things that I like better. Like I remember in the first one, you're right about the first one flowing a bit better, because that was kind of a main issue I had with this.
Well, especially for it being like almost 3 hours. I
Yeah.
mean, it felt long. It did not feel like 3 hours long to me. Well, again, for you, it probably did.
Oh, it did. It did for me. And this one's like 2:15 or something like that. There were some side characters in the first one that I found kind of obnoxious, and they're really not in this movie much at all.
No,
So
I appreciate that.
oh man, I think we're thinking of the same characters. Yeah, and there's some individual sequences in here that I really did love. I mean, particularly the Goldblum song. I like that a lot.
I liked him a lot more, and I like him in the first one, but I liked
Yeah.
him a lot more in this. He felt much more comfortable in the role, and even though he can't sing, he just had such a charm in that song and such an enthusiasm.
And it was such a good song that I was like, this is, kind of an old Hollywood sounding tune right here. And then it breaks into this dance number that kind of gives it like a later, like almost Xanadu feeling a little bit. I like that quite a bit. The dramatic scenes I was into. There was just kind of a problem with pacing in a lot of it, particularly in the first half.
Yes, I agree.
The first half had it had a lot of plot points that I actually kind of liked, but it's juggling a lot of different things. So you would kind of forget about it, then they'd come back, and I'd sort of forget it was a plot point. There would be characters that would come in that are set up like they're pretty important, and then they drop out of it for a pretty long while, to the point to where they're almost out of the movie. No, like not quite. They kind of come back, but then there were a lot of scenes where I was sitting there going, this feels padded. This feels like it's going on a really long time. And then I'd think a scene is wrapping up, and they'd start singing, and I'd be like, oh, we're doing this. Okay, this is going on for a little bit longer. But there's a few songs in it I liked quite a bit. Then there was a lot where they were a little samey, and I don't know, maybe it was because they would be at the end of these scenes that I feel like the scene should have already been over. It does pick up the pace quite a bit in the second half, but in the second half, which overall I found the second half pretty entertaining, but there are a lot of things that are rushed, and I was sitting there thinking, you could have tightened a lot of the first half of this and maybe put some focus on some other things that happen in the second half, because it gets to a point where things are just kind of wrapped up a little bit in the climax. And again, I've not seen the show, so I don't know how accurate a lot of that is.
It's
Is it
mostly pretty
accurate?
accurate. Honestly, in the show, it's done even faster.
Oh, I'm sure.
But again,
Yeah.
that's kind of the structure of Broadway shows
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And I do get why this was 2 movies. I do feel like it would just feel so much more rushed if they made it one. And didn't expand on a lot of this stuff. Because making a film and making a Broadway show are very different, especially for a musical. So again, for any scene where I'm like, where you might say, oh, that felt a little rushed, I might be like, oh, they expanded that out a little bit.
In that case, bravo to the movie. I guess it expanded it from the show. But, I mean, do you know what I mean, though? Where, like, I feel like, even though you're saying they do kind of expand some of that from the show, in a movie, when things are kind of dragging in the first half a little bit, and then, it gets to a lot of things in the climax. I mean, particularly, I can't give a lot away here, but particularly in the last act of it, there are these parts where it does feel like they're rushing to wrap certain things up, so a character will be kind of taken out fast.
Yeah, no, and that is something where the show is exactly like that. And honestly, the way they kind of worked with it was a little clever. But honestly, there's a couple where I think you could make that argument for a couple characters. And there's one where there's a huge plot hole in this without semi give it away in mine, but just in case I won't give away too much. There's one scene where a character is lifting someone else off the ground for a musical number.
Yeah.
And then there's a scene where that character has to go, and the character's like, come with me, and it's like, no, go, and I'm thinking, you could just carry this character. You could just fly. You showed you could do it.
There are inconsistencies with some powers in this.
Yeah.
Like, there is a character who's kind of dragged away at one point just because the movie's got to end, when beforehand this character might as well be an X-Men.
Yeah.
Like, there's little things like that. And so I was going through a lot of different emotions when I was watching it. Like, when it was tying in some characters with what we've seen in the Wizard of Oz, a couple of those actually did get me. And one of them, I was like, now I feel kind of like an idiot for not guessing that that's who this is. And one, I liked one. There's one introduction with a famous character that movie almost becomes The Shining for like a minute.
A little bit, yeah. I know what you're talking about. I even know that it's one of those times where I'm like, I wish I saw this with someone, because I know exactly what I would whisper over. I know exactly what I would riff in that moment.
Yeah.
Here's,
Yeah.
Like, you can't really, if you say it, it gives it away. But
I like that scene.
Yeah, I like it too. And I like this movie too. Obviously, the film has a dark vibe to it with the original, and certainly the second half is going to be darker, but I like it doesn't shy away from it. Like I said, there are elements where it'll go kind of horror-ish a little bit, but it doesn't lose track of what it is. And for me, I'll say in my review, the two biggies where I'm like, I like Wicked. I'm not in love with it, right? But I'm glad I saw it on stage, and everything. But the two moments where I'm like, I want to see this in a movie. I want to see this on the big screen. I want to see all the bells and whistles. Was, again, the end song in the last one, the Defying Gravity, which was great. It's exactly how I imagine it. And then the other was No Good Deed in this one, which, again, was exactly how I imagined it. It was pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah,
I thought just the visuals of it, the way she sang it, and everything, the emotions of that scene were just, oh, man. I was like, you can stop the movie right now. I'd be happy. I'm like, I don't need any more. That's just perfect. The thing with me about the first half, and I had this issue with the first movie too, and I feel like she did better in this, but it's still a little bit of an issue, is that Cynthia Erivo is, obviously a really good singer, and she can act, but there's something about her performance in this and the last one where it gets good. In the first one, I'd say about half the performance was good. The other half just felt a little off, a little shaky, especially against Grande, who was just surprisingly fantastic in it. And in this one, I'd say about 2/3 of it are really good, where I was believing it. I was buying it, especially the scenes with, like, the sister. I was really like, no, this is really, really working. There's other scenes where she'll say lines, and she just has, like, a blank face. Like, she'll have her eyes like she's kind of interested in something, but it's not interested enough, and then when she'll say something, it doesn't sound invested enough. And I get the feeling if she played it a little bit more interested, a little bit more panicky, a little bit more focused, or maybe a touch more intense, I would get past the moments I thought were maybe a little janky or a little boring or weren't the best pace, because she would say these lines and I just feel like, yeah, I know what she's going through. They explain it very well and emotionally. Oh man, how she's just given the raw end here and stuff like that. But the way she acts, I just don't feel that frustration, that anger, that fear all the time. And then when she does hit it, like I said, for about 2/3 of the movie, she does hit it very well. Yeah. So I get the feeling if that was fleshed out a little bit more, maybe that would help. But originally in the first one, I thought it was because I thought, even though obviously a phenomenal singer, sometimes the singing felt a little off in the first one too. And Heather had a theory that she thinks it's because some of it was sung on set, like Les Mis. Maybe that has something to do with, and again, it's not bad. I mean, she's a phenomenal singer,
Yeah.
but there are a few moments like, that's weird. That sounds a little off. But, so she thought maybe it was that. And I thought, well, maybe it's like, she's a great singer, but she doesn't always combine acting with singing, like, or not as well as like Grande does. You know? Where in this one, there's a lot of moments where she doesn't have to sing, she's just acting, and I'm like, that was flat. Nah, I didn't believe that. I didn't buy that. But especially as the film went on, and I started to go, well, okay, she was good in that scene. Okay, she was good in 2 scenes. Well, all right, she's got 3. And now I'm like, all right, majority of scenes she is good in, but there are moments, especially in that first chunk, where she does feel a little flat. And I think if she did have a little bit more intensity with it, a little bit more investment, I would have gotten more into those moments of that pacing issues.
I see what you're saying. I didn't catch a lot of I wasn't thinking so much about that with her, but now that you mention it, yeah, I can see that. I was more so in the first one too. I'm just used to this in the second one, but I was kind of mainly thinking I wish she looked more like a witch. She's
like the little nose,
or big nose, a wart, big chin.
Well, that's kind of why like they try to have that in all like the drawings, the propaganda posters and stuff like that. So I kind of like that. They take, what they probably, oh, green, that's weird, blah, blah, blah. Oh, we get to know her, and now she's the enemy. Oh, yeah, did she have, like, a weird crooked nose and a big chin? And, like, like they would emphasize that a lot more.
I did like, going off of what you said earlier about some things where you're like, oh, they actually went there. My moment for me in this was like, oh, those two did bang.
And I gotta say, weirdly, it's bizarrely kind of erotic.
I'll loan you the porn version.
Where they get, well, okay, I can't give that away, but where somebody gets makeup all over them.
Oh, that you're thinking of the Smurfs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that blue went everywhere. Damn. And I'm not sure if I own an adult version of Wizard of Oz, but I probably do.
Wizard of Oz.
There's gotta be one. Oh, wait. Did I? No, for a second, it shows you how long I've been doing this. For a second, I was like, wait, didn't I review like a musical one? I'm like, no, that was the Alice in Wonderland one. I reviewed a 70s Alice in Wonderland porn where Humpty Dumpty, he cracked and they brought him back, they gave him a blowjob or something. That fixed it.
Or just Alice in Wonder. There's just a person named Wonder.
Actually, I remember that movie not being too bad, actually. Music was quite good in it.
As porno soundtracks go, very enchanting.
It was a very magical experience. The grade that I would give this was like going back and forth.
Yeah.
It was like, there was, in the first half of it, I was like, this is fine. It's not like I was in love with the first one, but I was like, for what it is, yeah, it was fine. And considering I was in pain watching the first one, I'm like, this is okay. It's a B. This one, in the first half, I was kind of going, this is kind of a C+. A lot of these scenes they're kind of going on a while, and I'm not really getting sucked into this. But then, I started to, and the issues I had in the second half, I was like, I'm still having some issues here, but I am entertained, and I am moved in a lot of scenes. Like, there's a pretty powerful scene with a door.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Not
that's powerful for it. Yeah. It's such a simple setup, but I agree, it's very effective. I was actually kind of surprised how much that was like affecting me watching it.
Same.
Yeah. When it got to there, and it held on it just the right amount.
Yeah.
And again, it's so simple, but I was just like, that really worked.
Oh, yeah. So I got to give it that. And for the other scenes that I did dig, minus the issues I had with it. So, yeah, I should go ahead and give it a B-, because there are a couple scenes where it's like, I could probably go back. This in the first one, I don't know if I'd go back and watch the entire movies.
No.
But Yeah, this one actually did have a few where it's like I might pull up that clip and watch it sometime.
Yeah, and again, it's the fact that I was impressed how much I would go back and watch certain scenes, not just the musical numbers. I would go back and watch just these two people act off each other, work off each other, or just, like I say, even the scene with the door. And, both scenes with the door. The one that's kind of scary and the one that's very dramatic. I'm like, I would go back and see those again just to see how well they were done. I guess I'll go B+.
B+?
Yeah, because again, I'm aware of the show, and I know what they're trying to bring to the screen and stuff like that. I mean, I think just Wicked fans, people that know the show, are going to love it. They love the show. They're going to love this movie, you know. They all seem to love the first one. I think they're going to think roughly about the same with this one.
Was it packed when you saw it?
It was a fair amount. I saw the early one like 2 o'clock. It was the IMAX. Yeah, so it's already a big theater. But I don't know, like maybe 30-ish people, something like that.
Mine was pretty packed,
Yeah.
but I wasn't in the IMAX. I was on one of the smaller screens. But I was sitting very close, so it was...
So it's like IMAX.
Yeah. No, it was a packed... Honestly, I didn't realize it was a packed house till the movie was over with. They were very polite during the whole thing. Like,
People weren't saying it or anything like
that. No. It was at the end when suddenly there was an applause, so I was like, what? Oh. A lot more people came in.
They're doing like me, and they just get there at the time it starts. That's when they get to the theater, because they know there's going to be so many previews and everything. And you can pick your seats now. You don't have to get there super early.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I had nothing to do, so I was like, I'll play in the arcade for a little bit. So I was still there a little early. But what's next week?
Zootopia, maybe?
Oh, is that coming out already?
I think so. I thought it was like a Thanksgiving, because is next week Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's the Thanksgiving release.
Oh, okay.
So actually, the more I think about it, is that coming out like Tuesday or Wednesday or something? I didn't even think about that. I'll probably have to make time for that.
Yeah, same. But anyway, thank you so much. Take care.